Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Cosmic Verse titled The Loneliness Epidemic in Modern Women. So it turns out, guys, a lot of women are actually, this whole womanism, strong and independent thing is just completely backfiring. So a lot of the women are actually ending up lonely because men don't want to date them. Now, today's video was suggested to me by Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comments, so make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own comments, and let's jump right into the video.
I'm 22 and I feel so lonely in my 20s.
Anyone just cry because they just want to feel love.
I've been thinking about how lonely it is being single in your 20s.
Being 38 and single with no kids is such a wild ride.
The absence of intimacy is making many modern women feel very lonely and very sad.
With the rise of social media and this false sense of women's empowerment, it's just made things worse for everyone, especially modern women who can't handle the burdens of being quote-unquote strong and independent in the first place.
There's just something so fucking lonely about your mid-20s.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are single and you're feeling super lonely because it's the holidays, you are not alone. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you either. Like, you're not defective just because you're not in a relationship. And just because you didn't have success in 2024 does not mean that you will not have dating success in 2025. Because that's the crazy thing about dating. Never know when or who you're gonna meet. But if you give up now, then you are killing your chances of actually meeting someone.
These women are constantly complaining about being lonely, despite there literally being millions of perfectly good men out there. But these women would rather deny their existence than lower their absurd standards.
So stay in it.
I don't think adults were well equipped to handle loneliness. Today I just sat and I really wanted to move through this feeling. But loneliness is like feeling very stuck. It feels like you're never gonna not feel this way, and it just really hurts.
If you're a girl and you're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and driven, you are most likely single right now. And all the guys are going to get pissed right now, but it's so true.
These women always assume that men are going to get triggered whenever they say something that's absolutely ridiculous. They honestly think that men get angry when they post their blatant cope online.
I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like, as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like, you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like, you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or at least like meets you.
Modern women feel like they're entitled to the best men on the dating market, and yet they fail to realize that they have virtually nothing to offer these men in the first place.
And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her shit together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money. It's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just cunts because like they have every option in the world. Because there's no absolute way I'm marrying someone that makes less money than me, isn't as funny, or like doesn't have as good people skills. Like, there's just no way that that's happening.
What's funny is how these women act so masculine that any physical attraction they have makes them completely hideous. Madam, you swear more than the average sailor. No man actually finds that attractive for anything long term.
Many of these types of women seem to forget that relationships are about compromise and seeing the bigger picture beyond a checklist. Listen to her. She won't date a man who makes less money than she does or isn't funny. But what about the other qualities that truly matter in a relationship, like kindness, loyalty? The problem is, by holding on to such rigid standards, they end up sabotaging their own chances at love.
People make compromises every single day. It's an aspect of everyday life that we all go through, but these women who brag about their meaningless achievements on TikTok think that compromising when it comes to a relationship is somehow some form of an insult.
Refusing to lower their standards or be open to different possibilities often leaves them stuck in a cycle of disappointment. They expect perfection without realizing that no one is perfect, not even themselves.
A lot of this actually has to do with the entertainment that these women consume. All of these poorly written movies, books, and reality shows have warped their minds into thinking that the happily ever after ending is attainable without any form of conflict.
Okay, being 32 and single and on dating apps. I just love life. I love it. I love life. I love it so much.
What's interesting to me is how self-respecting men know that dating apps were designed to keep women single. That's their basic business model. That's why finding a successful relationship through a dating application is incredibly rare.
The hardest part about being the single friend in your mid to late 20s is not the actual fact of like being single. It's thinking you're going to be somewhere else at this point in your life. Like, I am not happy with how my life's going. I don't know how to change it. The panic and the fear and the loneliness is like something I never thought I would have to deal with ever. And I'm like so happy for a lot of my friends, but like, I don't know why the universe said, yeah, you can sit home and be alone. Like, I don't want to be doing this.
Madam, I can assure you, the universe doesn't care if you're alone or not. It's not the universe's responsibility to make you happy. You made the decisions that led you to this point. You can't be independent and still be controlled by the universe. It's one or the other.
I'm feeling the loneliness today. This is one of those down days, one of those hard days when you've given up dating, there is nobody, and you gotta do this. But I feel a little bit like I'm faltering, I hate being lonely. I hate it. It's not that I don't love myself. It's not that I can't figure out ways to preoccupy myself. I have my music. I have my singing. I'm going to start learning guitar. I enjoy playing piano.
They bring all of this on themselves, guys. She refuses to believe that there are perfectly good guys out there who play guitar and enjoy music. And she would rather torture herself than lower her standards.
But there are just times where no matter what I do, no matter how many songs I sing, no matter how many TikToks I make, no matter how much I distract myself, loneliness just kind of creeps in. Trying to stay strong and avoid those dating apps. So far, so good, though.
As mentioned, these women are craving intimacy, and that's really why most of them are lonely and single. Deep down, they want someone to connect with on an emotional level.
Men want the same thing as well. The only problem is that men are constantly being reminded by these lonely women that they are not good enough. And even through all of that, men can still sustain themselves without complaining about it for hours on end on places like TikTok.
Someone who truly sees and values them for who they are. However, their approach to relationships often conflicts with this desire. Many of them spent their prime years focusing on superficial attributes, and they end up paying the price later on. Right now, this woman is struggling to find that man on these dating apps, and she had to quit because of the frustration of not being able to land a guy. The frustration isn't just about not landing a guy. It's about realizing that her expectations and standards may no longer align with what's available to her.
Even if she were to find that perfect guy, hypothetically, who, ticked all of the boxes, she would still find an excuse to be unhappy. I guarantee you, she would blame him for it, then she would break up with him, and we see it happen all of the time.
I'm 30 years old. I'm single. I live at home. I just spent the last year running around trying to figure out stuff, and I'm back at home. My job is hard. All my friends are getting married and engaged, and I'm not. Life just every day feels the same somehow, sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, what the heck am I doing?
The prettiest girls that I know are actually pretty lonely.
Okay, so this makes so much sense as to why I've been single my whole life, because obviously men are intimidated.
The cope is strong with this one. Men don't find women like this intimidating. There's nothing intimidating about them. Men just don't want to put up with their crap. It's too much work and yields practically nothing in return for the man.
Like, I get it now. Thank you for confirming that for me, hon.
I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm mad.
I have so much anxiety, I can't even function as a human being anymore. Why I'm never good enough? Why am I right here in this parking lot wondering, what did I do wrong this time? What was it? Why?
It's interesting to watch these women have a complete meltdown and have this woe is me attitude, even though she keeps shooting herself in the foot thanks to her irresponsible approach to dating.
They all leave. Why I'm never pretty enough, funny enough, smart enough. Why I'm never worth it. And they don't tell you what's wrong. They just leave. And I'm tired.
The problem is, when women end up in the position where they're questioning themselves about not being good enough, it's because they keep choosing the same types of guys.
Did anybody else catch that? For all of the qualities she's questioning, at no point did she ever stop and think, am I kind enough? Or am I peaceful enough? That's what the majority of self-respecting men are looking for.
They gravitate toward men who check superficial boxes. What's often overlooked is that these types of men are not always looking for long-term, meaningful relationships. They may enjoy the chase, the attention, or the status that comes with dating, but they aren't necessarily interested in commitment or emotional depth. Women who consistently choose these men are setting themselves up for disappointment because they're prioritizing surface-level traits over qualities like emotional availability, kindness, and shared values.
The types of men that modern women desire have significantly larger amounts of options, and when that happens, he's not going to give up his life for anybody unless he wants to. That's the one thing these women will never understand.
The truth is, the issue isn't about not being good enough. It's about not choosing wisely.
I don't know what's worse, being completely single and having absolutely no love interest, or texting a grown-ass man a long paragraph describing how to just treat you like a basic human being, like bare minimum. I don't know.
If a man receives a massive laundry list from a woman where she demands how he's supposed to be treating her, he's going to interpret that as an insult. At that point, you're treating that man like a child, and that's probably a bad idea, especially if you want something from him, like, I don't know, a relationship.
I'm in this really weird state where I feel super lonely, and yet I don't want to hang out with anyone at all. When I'm home, I want to go out and I want to do things, but at the same time, I can't think of anything I want to do or anyone I want to see. And when I'm out doing things and seeing people, I'm having a really good time, but there's still like this underlying sense of loneliness. I don't know how to explain it. And don't get me wrong, I love my friends. I love spending time with my friends. I love my family, but I am cursed with this feeling of loneliness.
If there's one thing that we all know about modern women these days, is that they will attach themselves to self-pity and misery. They fixate so much of their energy on this crap that they can't imagine a life where they aren't miserable and lonely.
Do you know what absolutely sucks as you get older? Feeling alone, being lonely, and having what it feels like nobody to do anything with. Message friends, people who you thought were your friends, but now you're second guessing yourself. Like, when you're free, let's meet up, and everyone comes back. Busy, can't do it, yada yada yada, and you're just like, cool. There needs to be a club for like, I'm 30, have no boyfriend and have no kids. So I wish I could be one of them people that was happy by themselves. Like, I could go and join my own company and read books and get a hobby, and that's just not me. I enjoy being with people.
This woman cannot handle the idea that her friends have their own lives and responsibilities, and she's angry that they won't drop everything they're doing to listen to her complain about how she is lonely.
So when you have no people to be with, it's really fucking hard. Then sat here like doubting myself, like, is it me? Am I an unlikable person? Like, I try to be nice to everyone. It's just shit. And it's like, just makes me think, like, everyone getting their, God's sake, everyone getting their GCSE results at 16. Whole life ahead of them. Like, I did not think at 16 that this is what my life would be like, that I would be struggling my whole life, that I would still not have found my group of people, my people.
It is never a wise idea to refer to your friends and significant others as my person. It not only gives the idea that you're asserting ownership over this individual, it's also emasculating and shows zero respect for the man.
Like, I have my best friend and other friends, but I still feel pretty fucking lonely out here. Just thank God. Like, I was convinced my 30s were going to be it. Like, my 20s been shit. Let's make my 30s it. I don't know what to do.
Basically, her friends are in relationships, and she feels lonely with no company. What she's experiencing is the feeling of getting left behind. As she watches her friends pair off,
these women can't fathom the idea that they are not the center of the lives of the people around her. When friends get into relationships, it's all too common that they move on and have less time for other people.
Settle down and build lives with their partners. She can't help but feel like time is slipping away from her. She sees them sharing experiences, going on trips, or starting families, and it only amplifies her own isolation. It's not just about being single, it's about the emotional distance she feels from the people she used to share everything with. The loneliness she feels is compounded by the comparison to others.
Social media has been a major source of brain rot for modern women. They see these tiny snapshots of other people's lives, and they use it to twist the knife and make excuses as to why they choose to stay single.
Seeing everyone else moving forward with their lives makes her wonder why she's still single and why she hasn't been able to find someone who meets her needs. The feeling of being left behind becomes more than just an emotional struggle. It can feel like a ticking clock, a reminder that time is passing and she's not where she imagined herself to be at this point in life.
These women have been brainwashed into thinking that their youth will last forever, that they'll always be young, attractive, desirable, but they refuse to understand that they are living on borrowed time in that regard. And unfortunately, when these women get older, a lot of the looks fade and things like this, and at the end of the day, they don't, they never cultivated anything that men might be interested in past that point.
I'll be 31 and I still have yet to have a boyfriend. And I would say that I'm at a stage in my life where obviously I very much want to be in a relationship. I want to find my person. I want to have a partner to do life with. I don't want to be alone.
It sucks. Be the person who's never chosen. It's not even about wanting to be in a relationship. It's not even about wanting to sleep with everyone or do all these things. Not feeling desired does psychological warfare to you because when everyone chooses...
The majority of men in the world are actively ignored by modern women. We are to be neither seen nor heard unless she needs somebody to move a couch or something. And we're expected to just go along with this. But I guess she never got that memo.
Everyone else except you, like the last kid being chosen for soccer. Why am I the last one being chosen? The common denominator is obviously me. And then it just makes you feel bad. People are like, oh, self-love this, self-love that. Yeah, okay, I do love myself. But it'd also be nice to feel desired by other people other than myself. Self-love is like freaking cauliflower wings. They taste good. They're delicious. They're nice if you want a crispy fried snack. But if you're craving chicken wings, the cauliflower wings are not going to cut it. They're going to be good. They're going to be all right. But it's not the same thing. I want to walk into a room and people will be like, oh.
What this woman fails to realize is that there are plenty of men out there who would desire her. The problem is that she doesn't desire those men, and it's that mentality that's gotten her into this mess.
Wow, that girl. But instead, I'm the person where people grow to like me. They're like, oh, she's so funny. She's so nice. She's so kind. People like me for my personality, which is fine. Just saying everyone gets to experience all these different things, all these different experiences, or when you're at the bar and everyone's flirting with everyone except you, and you're just standing there alone, awkwardly, you have to go to the bathroom. What else are you supposed to do? No one's talking to you. Everyone's talking to everyone else.
That can be easily solved by going up to people and actually talking to them. That's the problem with modern women, guys. They want to be desired, but they want other people to do all of the work for them.
I don't know. Anyway.
Madam, if no man is talking to you or approaching you, they're just not interested. It seems like to me this woman is craving validation. She's seeking that external approval and attention from men to affirm her worth. The silence or lack of interest from potential partners creates a void that only amplifies her insecurities. When women are constantly seeking attention from men, it often reflects a deeper need to feel desired and important.
One thing that these women will never understand is how this level of self-pity is profoundly unattractive. She would feel the exact same way about men if the shoe was on the other foot.
The reality is that no amount of validation from others will ever fill the emptiness if she hasn't learned to value herself first. If nobody is approaching her, it might not always be a reflection of her attractiveness or worth. It could simply be a result of the vibe she's giving off. Or, to be blunt, no man is interested.
Dating in our generation is so scary. I personally struggle with dating.
Too much value has been placed on dating applications. Modern women think it's the only way to meet good men, and it's such a great way to meet Chad, but it's not going to get you a good man. They've deleted those apps years ago.
We have an infinite number of options at the tip of our fingers, and it's so bad. It creates a paradox of choice where we have an abundance of options, and whatever option we do pick, we end up feeling unsatisfied with. Everybody's fiending for instantaneous gratification and for the next best thing. All I want is an old school love where a boy has to ask my parents' permission before he takes me out. That's so sweet. And of course there's the risk of the process, but sometimes the people I meet through that, I don't know.
Let's just say that this woman does meet a guy who is willing to ask her parents' permission to take her out on a date. She is going to be so turned off by this that she will never be able to respect him in the first place. It's just a fantasy that he'll never be able to make into a reality.
Oh.
Are you stuck in back-to-back situationships that seem to never work? Do you know how to get out of them?
Hi.
Is there someone we could talk to? Who knows how to get out of this?
I made a map. Here's your situationships. You get out of them by finding someone who doesn't want to be in one.
To the people that are in relationships, as somebody who is chronically single, I just have one question. Are you guys settling?
Men don't value the same superficial crap that a lot of women value. Men are really not that complicated. I have been saying this on this channel forever. Men just want a woman who's kind and peaceful. It's really not too much to ask, and yet these women find that notion to be so damn offensive.
Are you guys settling? Because I just feel like, so I'm 25 years old. I genuinely, when I say I am chronically single, I have not been in an actual legitimate relationship that I can be like, Mom and Dad, this is my boyfriend since I was in high school. Situationships, sure. Terrible people, honestly, who I've dated in the past, no offense. But I just like, I feel like, you know, I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing the apps, not by choice really, but only because I don't go out as much as I used to. So I feel like that's the only way I'm going to meet people.
She's on these applications because she craves the validation. For all of the matches she gets on these dating apps, she will talk to maybe 3 dudes. It's less about finding a guy and more about getting a dopamine rush and some free attention.
And my friends, for whatever reason, hate me and don't introduce me to anybody. Just kidding. Love you guys so much. But like everyone that they know is married already. So I want to know, like, are you guys settling in some sort of capacity? Because how are you guys finding these people? How are you guys in these loving relationships? It doesn't make sense. And I need somebody to tell me, because we were like, just focus on yourself. Your day is coming. Is so annoying, especially when it comes from people who have never been single a day in their life.
You can smell her bitterness through the screen. She's saying she's done less than the bare minimum and is angry that people aren't rushing to help her. Why should they? She's just going to get mad at them regardless of what they do.
Like, they change relationships more than they change underwear. So I just want to know, like, is it me? Now, again, I know I don't look like a model. I understand. I'm not shooting above my range, but it's like, Jesus Christ, like, do I really have to lower the standards that much? It's what it's feeling like.
If her standards weren't quote-unquote all that high, then she would have found herself a committed relationship a long time ago. But she chose situationships and Chad chasing instead of finding somebody who wasn't perfect.
I like how she said, they were terrible people, when she's the one who gave these men access to her body. What you have to understand about women who have been in many situationships is that it's very hard for them to pair bond. The repeated cycle of casual relationships and emotional detachment takes a toll on their ability to form meaningful connections. They've trained themselves to keep things surface level, avoiding vulnerability because they've been hurt or let down too many times.
This is why situationships and hookups are such a terrible idea. Bedroom fun used to be a sacred bond between a man and a woman, and modern women devalued that so much that it's literally warped their own minds.
The truth is, pair bonding requires trust. emotional openness, and a willingness to invest in someone deeply. But when a woman has been through countless situationships, those qualities often fade. She's learned to treat relationships as temporary or transactional, and that mindset can carry over even when she wants something real. She's confused why her friends are in happy relationship. Well, that's because they wasn't being passed around, madam.
When a modern woman complains about settling, that really tells you everything you need to know about her. This woman isn't friendly, she's not trusting, and she's just carrying far too much psychological baggage. Men don't want to deal with that.
Can we normalize and even celebrate solitude and being single? Because, oftentimes, especially on social media, I see it being just kind of really highly stigmatized. And I think, there is a growing number of single people, it seems like particularly women, that are perfectly happy enjoying their single lives and enjoying those single lives to the fullest.
Incorrect! Whenever a modern woman says we need to quote-unquote normalize something, you can pretty much assure yourself that anything that comes after the word normalize is just going to be something incredibly stupid.
The happiest people are single women and married men. It was like this whole debate, and I'm like, I really think that is true.
Honestly, you guys, I feel like a lot of married women are unhappy.
Because they take on both roles. A lot of women take on both roles, and that's what makes them unhappy. Because when a man gets married, he automatically gets everything. He gets a home, he gets...
It's amazing how the women who complain about marriage and trash-talking men for getting married are the ones who will never get married. So they lash out at the married couples who put in the time to actually make things work.
He gets the good parts of a woman.
He gets a chef, a nanny, a house cleaner, a prostitute.
They get everything.
They get everything.
Literally. And then the woman is expected to do the housework and work as well.
Honestly, I don't want to say a lot of women enable it, but it's you got it. I think Shara 7 says something really well. She's just don't do it for a week.
The idea that marriage is just legalized slavery is completely absurd. Men aren't looking for servants, they are looking for someone to share his life with, but they are so offended at the idea of cooking a meal that they lash out at the very thing that they want.
That's incorrect. The happiest people are not single women. If you look at this graph here, you'll see that the women who are happiest are married women with children, while the happiness levels of women without kids drop significantly to around 21%. This paints a clear picture that the narrative of single women being the happiest is largely misleading. The women who promote this idea are often the ones trying to justify their own choices.
The women who talk about this stuff don't know the first thing about what it takes to make a relationship work. They assume a man will magically show up, solve all of their problems, and drown her in lifelong happiness. And when it doesn't happen, they just accuse everyone as being as miserable as they are.
And encourage others to join them in their misery. It's a way to cope with their own unhappiness by making it seem like they've chosen the better path. But the data simply doesn't support it. Married women with children often report a higher sense of fulfillment, purpose, and emotional stability because they've built lives centered on meaningful relationships and shared responsibilities. They aren't chasing superficial goals or temporary pleasures. They're investing in something that gives back to them emotionally and mentally in the long run.
Modern women get so offended at the idea that men and women are literally designed to breed and start families, and it's only after these women became barren that they realized how badly they screwed up, and they'll never feel that sense of fulfillment that a married woman with children will have. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.